Welcome to TPK Roleplay. Tonight, as part of our October All Hallows spooky good fun times, we are doing a special one-shot called Secrets of the Blind Palace, written by Aviezer. I am Lukalok, and I will be your dungeon master tonight. Players, if you would like to go around and introduce yourselves and your characters that you bring in tonight.
Should we start with me?
Start with me.
Let's
You go
start with
first.
Me. Hey guys, it's me, Sir Heckalot. I'll be playing Valencia, the Tiefling Blood Hunter today. Let's move it on over to Copper.
Hi everyone, Copper Leo. I will be playing Asmodeus Skullsplitter tonight. Let's kick it back up to robotic.
Hi guys, I'm Robotic Gentleman. I will be playing Karen, the Necromancer Bard. Yep, that's how. And then last but not least, Kyle.
I am Legendary Vermin, and tonight I will be playing Cly, the Succubus Fighter. The fighter succubus. Yeah.
Okay, so in the land of Breland, Eberron, there used to be a place known as Bright Blossom years and years ago. It has since fallen out of everyone's knowledge. It is something of a forgotten time years ago, but has recently become relevant again as the nobles, the wealthy nobles, the Von Crofts, have sent out a call for aid. They have advertised throughout the region for adventurers willing to recover the body of their son from what they call the Blind Palace. This call for aid has reached parties from all walks of life. Official authorities, mercenary companies, innkeepers, thieves guilds, and you all. The Von Crofts wield considerable wealth and influence, and many people of high and low station have been interested in gaining favor with them, but you guys got the job. So, you have traveled to just outside the city of Sterilasker in Breland, where you are to meet with the Von Crofts and accept this job officially.
I'm assuming we're all walking together. All right.
I would assume that you guys are all arriving at this encampment of the Von Crofts probably around the same time. You were probably given the same meeting details of where to go and what time to assemble.
I mean, walking is definitely a strong word, because when Cly arrives, she's doing whatever she can to either be riding on somebody else's horse or be sitting on the back of a wagon. But walking, she considers herself above it, if at all possible.
Ahead of all of you, and the directions you were given, is a stone windmill at the top of a hill, where there appear to be many horses saddled and tied off outside the front, and a few guards standing around.
As where those guards are standing, is that where we're supposed to meet? Was that
up at the top of the hill? Yes. There's a light snow falling, and your breath is puffing in the cold air.
Karen will approach the closest one he sees and says, You there. Your master has summoned me. Do quickly show me the way so that I may get on with the business at hand.
We were told that there would be 4 of you. We shall wait for all of you to assemble before you meet with our masters.
Oh, hey there. That's the rest of us too.
Oh, with Jester behind him. These are the 3 who are joining me along with this crusade. So here we are. So make way.
All right, as all of you kind of gather up behind Karen to assemble here, the guard will kind of knock on the door, wait until he hears a voice call from within, and open it. And inside you will find Valentin and Helena von Croft waiting. Valentina's standing looking at you, and she is sitting down at a wooden table, looking at nothing, just kind of staring off into the distance. They are both wearing heavy fur cloaks. They have more guards posted around inside the building. Clearly bodyguards or personal house guard. Wearing polished mail and long swords. And the guard will allow you to walk in and then close the door behind you against the chill outside. And Valentine will size all of you up and say, "So you have come. And now you will bring back our son."
Well, a pleasure to meet you too, sir.
He is very reserved and icy in his demeanor. He's a tall, pale, kind of middle-aged man with sharp features and dark hair, and he will not even respond to this, but just sort of look all of you over. What, starting with Heck and then going around, what does everyone look like as you enter in to this windmill?
Yeah, Valencia walks in pretty confidently, just in stride. She's a red tiefling with white horns and just kind of this mess of auburn hair surrounding it. Just dark black eyes, just full way through, pupil and iris, as well as the whites. And yeah, just confidently walks in, listens to that, and seeing how he responded to Copper's character that I'm currently blanking on the name of. My bad.
Asmodeus.
Just kind of waits to gauge on what he says next.
Okay. Copper, as Asmodeus walks in, what are we seeing?
You guys are seeing a 6'2" wall of an half orc. He's very muscular. He built wide, strong. His face looks mean, but at the same time, there's some sort of gentleness there that you wouldn't expect with the rest of him. And then he also has like long blonde hair that normally you don't see on half orcs.
How much like Fabio does he resemble?
We're gonna say post goose in the nose.
Okay. Robotic, what are we seeing as Karen walks in?
All right, Karen is basically wearing a traveling cloak, simple traveler's clothes. He has a lute or a violin slung behind him, a knife on his belt, and a big long brimmed hat on his head. Just average height human, nice clean shaved beard, and just a friendly smile.
Vermin.
So, Cly, for all intents and purposes, looks like a steampunk pinup. She's wearing like a leather corset with some like long gloves, and she has sort of a skirt going on, but it's cut very high. It looks like there's a lot of room for her to move in it, and like notably on her belt sit a like very fancy rapier with like a caged grip, and if you look closely at it, you can see there's little bits of crust in the end, but a very well-loved whip.
I'm not gonna ask about that crust. Assessing all of you, Valentine will look probably at Karen with the hat and the cloak and everything, assessing you as most on level with his class. And he will say, I assume you would like the details of this job. We are offering 200 gold pieces for the return of our son, Wilhelm.
Do you have anything else to let us know? A description, where he might be?
Yes, we do. And he will glance at one of the guards and just nod. Very well, bring her up. And then one of the guards will actually depart downstairs into the cellar. And while he does that, Valentine will just kind of glance at his wife, who is just barely looking at you all, just kind of staring off, sitting at the table. And he will look at you all. One of his party members did happen to return from his expedition. She is unwilling or unable to speak on what happened there. Despite our prodding.
When did she return?
A few weeks ago. The window of time for Wilhelm to be raised from the dead is rapidly closing. It took more than a week for us to even track him to this blind palace,
And has she said anything else?
She has said nothing, and we have been quite convincing. But she refuses to cooperate. I am sure it was her or one of the other members of this expedition that tempted young Wilhelm to pursue this folly. I believe the intent was to go searching for treasure in the old palace.
During this exchange, Asmodeus will see the wife just staring off, and he will just begin to approach.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll, as he approaches, she basically looks up at this very tall half-orc who looks down at her and says, "Ma'am, I swear that we will return your son's body to you so that your family may be restored. You have my word."
She will look up at you. She has like piercing blue eyes and is very fair-haired and moves gracefully, almost ethereally, and just look up at you. I appreciate that. I would very much like my son back.
We will do what we can. Though I just met these fellows, I feel that they feel
Halfway through you talking, she's just going to turn her head and just like focus off into the wall again,
That's
completely
fine.
disengaged with you speaking.
I have a 9 wisdom, so I'm not even picking up on that she's now disengaged from this.
Excellent.
Can I get a vibe if like she really is just kind of staring at nothing, or if she's like not able to see any of what's happening?
Yeah. Roll a vibe check. Roll insight.
Okay. I have a +2, so we're gonna see how this goes. Natural 1.
Things good.
I don't know.
Fine. It's fine. It's good.
Maybe she's just one of those dumb trophy wives, not really present. But Valentine, one of the guards will actually come back up from the cellar, ascending with a lit oil lantern, and leading a pale, very slightly built human woman. Long black hair hangs over her face, and there are dark crescent circles below her eyes. Manacles on her hands and feet clink as she kind of shuffles up the stairs behind this guard, who will kind of shove her forward, where she will kind of stumble and then stand, like eyes downcast, in front of all of you. And Valentine will gesture to the side. This is Catherine Chamber. She is, as far as we can tell, the only surviving member of Wilhelm's expedition. Since she left the Blind Palace, left our son, she's been unable or unwilling to speak. But she can serve as a guide for you. I do not believe she is to be trusted, but unfortunately she is the only one to return from there. I would recommend that you take her with you. However, I will leave the decision up to you. I offer no reward for her safe return, and I will exact no penalty should she not. I only care about Wilhelm.
How does she look? Like, in terms of her condition.
Do you want to roll a medicine check for me?
I can do that. 17.
Yeah, she, aside from looking incredibly haunted, she has a definitely some sort of trauma hanging behind her eyes, but she also has bruises up and down her legs and arms poking out of the kind of ragged clothing she is wearing that looks like she has maybe been recently beaten.
Yeah, I think Cly is going to kind of swoop in. I don't believe she needs to be manacled for what we're going to do with her. Do you mind? And she's going to like lift up her manacled hands towards the whichever guard brought her here.
The guard will look at Valentine, who will say, I believe it is best that you leave her hands manacled, but of course if you would like to undo her legs so that she may walk more quickly along with you.
If I could have a key to the manacles on her hands, nonetheless.
Of course, and the guard will hand it to you.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think Cly is just going to move this girl away from the guards and away from the master of the house.
Okay. Yeah, and do you undo her manacles?
Her leg manacles, yeah, I'm gonna wait until we're elsewhere to deal with her wrists.
Okay, she will just kind of, as you undo those, just kind of shuffle forward, out, like stepping out of them, and then just stand. Again, just waiting to accompany you guys wherever. She seems definitely very wary of the Von Crofts, and is just continuing to look downcast and remain silent. Valentine will speak up again. 200 gold for the body of our son. She can lead you there.
Very well, sir. We shall return with your son, forsooth.
Cly will go and kiss the rings of both of the Von Crofts before leaving.
Valentine will very stiffly extend out his hand, and Helena will just kind of like extend a hand, not really like paying attention or present.
Cly gonna do the Robin Hood thing where you know you kiss the rings and
I
just
was
pop
thinking
the
the same.
Yeah, just jewels in your teeth.
I've not seen that Robin Hood.
It's the Disney one.
I figured.
We gotta fix that. But anyway, Valencia will give a curtsy and kind of head on out too.
Has Karen? Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask. Has Karen said anything during this time?
No, he's just watched this strange exchange and enjoyed the whole time. He's just gonna lightly put his hand on the girl's back and guide her outside,
Yep.
as they theatrically say.
Okay. You guys can leave the windmill and descend down the hill. And Karen will, or Catherine will, like just kind of look around at you and then clearly like orient herself and begin walking off in a direction. Clearly willing to show you where to go. And leading you towards the Blind Palace.
Right. Karen will. Well, what's our marching order?
What is your marching order?
I'm a
Party?
wizard. I should not be in front.
Asmodeus will take the front.
Okay. Okay.
And he'll walk at the side of Catherine, just so that she's not like out in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll stay behind them.
Yeah, I think Cly is probably somewhere near the front, but as long as we're walking, yeah.
Okay. Valencia will take up the back then.
Catherine will remain silent, her shoes just kind of crunching on the snow that has fallen while you were in the windmill, walking just straight ahead, kind of eyes kind of forward and down.
Does she have shoes?
She does.
Okay.
Good. Cly's gonna
Like, I would
unlock her
find something
hands once we're out of eyeshot of the palace.
Okay. She will just kind of nod at you and then do the whole, rub her wrists thing. And it's definitely looks like there is a bit of bruising from the manacles, and then just continue walking.
As we're walking, Asmodeus will look to Catherine since he's walking to the side and say, "Tell me, fair maiden, I know that you've been through some ordeals, but surely there's something you can tell us about what happened to the poor boy." Now roll a persuasion.
Yeah.
How we do that?
Mm-hmm.
Back that up. That is a 16 with 3, so 19.
She will look at you, and with now that her hands are free, she will look at you and. You are unable to speak. Is that the case? Well, thankfully, I have pen and paper if you are able to write anything. She's actually going to kind of put up her hands and cast a minor illusion cantrip to show just a still image of her with like something leaving her mouth, coming out of her throat, and then let the image fade.
We can't hear you,
Oh,
robotic.
sorry. I'm so sorry. Can I do an Arcana check to check, see if I can recognize what might have happened to her?
Yeah.
18.
Okay, so she doesn't seem like, if you're just guessing, you clearly recognize the minor illusion cantrip, and also you would know this spell requires no verbal component, which is probably
no.
why she's able to cast it. But there doesn't seem to be anything wrong on the like soul level or anything like that. It seems very much almost as if the voice was surgically removed using magic. Just that itself was isolated and taken.
Your voice was stolen. You poor unfortunate soul.
Inspiration, Copper. You get a point of inspiration.
Taking it.
All right. Well, Karen will walk over to her as we're walking and just tell her, well, I'll tell you what. You keep us away from most of the traps up until wherever you lost your voice, and we'll make sure if we happen to find it in a jar, we'll get it back to you.
Um, yeah. As you step closer to her, and you had been just checking out, you will almost sense a bit of necromancy around her throat area, almost remnants of whatever powerful spell was cast on her to remove her voice. And she will just kind of look at you, deadpanned, and then continue walking as if she doesn't really believe in your guys' cause.
All right. Well, it's going to be fun here in this castle. Can't wait to see what we find.
Would someone like to roll a history check for me? Just to see if what they know, local lore about the Blind Palace.
Can more than one of us do that?
I could, but I had a -1, so I don't think anybody wants to hear from me.
I got 13.
Okay, that would be enough to know that, back in the day, the Blind Palace, was known by a different name and was very much a pleasure palace for the wealthy, where they would go and stay for an extended weekend, and then, a series of murders occurred. No one really seems to know what happened. The details are unclear, or you don't remember them. But you do know that the entire place was abandoned, bricked up, all of the windows and doors closed off, hence giving it the name Blind Palace.
I'll relay this to the party, and I'll add at the end of it, really is a shame. I probably could have made quite a bit of coin in its heyday myself.
It was a great place to go hunting.
So you follow Catherine along a disused road up a gentle slope through a light wood of pine and spruce. Occasionally, bright red cardinals or gray squirrels kind of dart between the gently falling snowflakes or across the road. And after about an hour's walk from the old windmill, the marble walls of the Blind Palace loom before you. Its back flush against a rocky hillside. The old road you've been following leads into a courtyard. 2 towers, their windows bricked up, rise over the crumbling outer walls.
Is there like a doorway?
Yeah, so the old road, as you continue following this up to like a ruined wooden carriage house just west of the gates. And there's the ground inside the courtyard seems to have once been covered in colorful gravel and decorative slate tiles. Though now most of the tiles are cracked and broken. And the gravel is overgrown with scrubby grass, now like dusted with a light snow. Hedgerows of dead boxwoods rise like claws from the earth around the edges of the courtyard. And in the northeastern corner of the courtyard, there's a large stone well with a crumbling rim. And then directly north of the gates, the doors of the Blind Palace hang open.
Well, that's an invitation if ever I've seen one.
If you guys look over at Catherine, she will just kind of look at you and again just move her hand in the air, and a still image of her and 3 others making camp in this courtyard will be shown. And it looks very much like the little tent. It looks very much like a, like a treasure hunter expeditionary camp.
Yes, I see.
Were you looking? Were you looking for something specific, darling?
She will just kind of put up an image of just mountains of treasure, like gold and everything.
Is there anything left over from that camp in the courtyard that we see?
You can see there is like a remains of a fire that was made in the camp. And there was like some refuse, some obvious disturbing of the ground. But it's been like a week or so, so there's not a whole lot of very fresh sign of it.
Well, at least with them camping here, we know the courtyard is safe.
Right? I kind of look over to Catherine. I was like, is it safe here?
She pauses when you like. She goes to say nod yes, and then you say here, and she just kind of glances at the doorways standing open and just nods her head no, or I'm sorry, shakes her head no. Nods her head no.
Nods her head no.
No.
No, yeah, but no.
Tell me if I made it. When you approached, were the doors open or were they closed?
She will show that they were closed, with a still image, and then she will also, after that, put up a still image of a tiefling, what appears just from their garb like a sorcerer, casting something, and it looks like there's arcane wards that are glowing. And you would get the impression that these doors were closed and warded, but they had to open them.
I see. Yes, this definitely tells me what was the problem here. You guys broke in entering. We shall not make the same mistake twice. And he's going to march up to the front doors that are open. He's going to take them and he's going to close them. And then he's going to knock.
There will be no answer.
Well, I guess no one's home.
We could have avoided the breaking part because the doors were already open. We could have just entered. Now we're gonna do the same thing.
You're absolutely
I think,
right.
Sweetling, this is the same thing that they encountered. Nobody home.
But still, it's not right to just break into someone's home if they're there. But at the same time, if they are there and they're not answering the door, then that's very disrespectful against the rules of hospitality. A moral dilemma. Pray, I must think on this. And he just walks over and starts stroking his chin as he like paces around the well, like
You could tell, and the rest of you, as you look at the doors, that there were iron bars that once held the doors shut, and that they were obviously pried loose, either before or after the wards were dispelled. The door handles are carved to resemble blooming roses, and there's the remains. You can kind of see the remains of like carved arcane sigils on the door. And then carved in like flowing script above the stone lintel is, in common, the word Bright Blossom.
Cly will very carefully and quietly open the door, while Coppers turned the other way and say, "Oh, look. Somebody has opened the door to invite us in."
See, there is someone home. I knew it.
Karen's just gonna look at you and say, "After you."
Of course. And Asmodeus will walk right in.
I assume everyone is following?
Yep.
It's a good 10 feet back.
Cly is going to like watch Asmodeus go in and kind of turn to Karen and say, "They always make the really hot ones dumb as bricks, don't they?"
As you walk in, you will see that it's a huge vaulted ceiling of this like grand hall, 20 feet or more high. In the center of the hall is a large tarnished chandelier hanging over like a cracked and dusty pink marble floor. On the north side of the room, a grand staircase rises up to meet a collapsed archway that is choked with rubble. And there are ornate wooden doorways leading off this hall in several directions. There are also... Let me just check your passive perception really quick.
Mine's 9.
11.
12.
Karen, you will notice... Valencia. Yeah, just you two will notice that there's droplets of blood dripping from one of the... a small object hanging down from the chandelier, tied to it by threads and dangling about 10 feet off the ground. And as you kind of look closer, you will see there's a series of what appear to be almost fetishes hanging. One looks like the severed ear of something, possibly a tiefling, with a silver hoop earring. Another is like a blood-soaked leather pouch. There seems to also be like some rolled up sheet of paper, tied with bits of string and knotted, as well as a large signet ring tied and hanging with bits of branch and bramble.
Someone's been decorating, I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
I know the decor here is tacky.
If you say
That was
this,
the skin
Catherine
of
will
that ear.
actually look up and just kind of recoil in horror, just stepping back until she like hits a wall.
How secure does this chandelier look?
This is a very old building in poor condition. Not super secure.
Does anything you mentioned look reachable?
It's about 10 feet off the ground, so I mean, potentially?
We also do have a very tall friend that is many more feet off the ground than we are, probably.
Yes, but he does not see this.
As you all draw attention to it, Cly will look up and... okay, so chandeliers, right? The way that they would work is they would usually be tied off so that you could lower them and raise them.
Yeah, like a large chain, if that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can follow, like up and like be a large chain that eventually goes across the hallway and down a side of a wall.
Okay. Well, it looks like whoever the master of the house is likes to take trinkets from trespassers. Somebody likes to mark their territory.
Catherine is going to just shoot up an image of her, a tiefling that seems like that ear definitely belonged to, as well as two other companions, just obviously trying to tell you that these belonged to people that she knew.
The two other companions, are either of them the fellow we came here looking for?
Yes. One of them is very definitely a young, wealthy noble wearing a signet ring that looks like this. And you can definitely see the family resemblance to the Von Crofts.
Okay. And there's none of his body parts up there, right?
No body parts, just the ring.
Okay. That's a shame. How much of a person do you need to resurrect them?
A piece.
Damn shame.
Is there a table or anything around here we can use to push under him for an extra couple feet?
Yeah, there's like a little one of those side hall tables with like a vase and everything on it.
I'll gesture
Covered in
that
dust.
to the rest of the party. Strength is not one of my strong suits, but if you guys need a boost, and he gestures at said table.
What do we need a boost for?
There are things in the chandelier.
The chandelier. Oh, that's unfortunate.
If I were sitting on his shoulders, would I be able to reach the chandelier?
Probably. You said 6 foot something? I mean, yeah, probably.
6'2".
Yeah.
I mean, I did.
It's more
I
fun this
appreciate
way.
your effort.
Fly's
Yeah.
just looking for an excuse to climb that man.
Do you need a lift, fair maiden?
Oh, yes, you can put me right on your shoulders.
Okay. And basically he's like staring at Clyde and then basically grabs her by the waist and lifts her up and basically like puts her this way so she's facing his head. Just not even thinking about it, just lifts her straight up and then like legs around the back. that good
Meanwhile, Karen is just sitting there with
I'm
the
sorry, I'm
table
sorry.
having scooted it into place under the chandelier. Just
This is important. Which way am I facing?
Like I said, your stomach is now in his face with your legs over his back. Like he just picks you straight up and lifts you.
And you'll feel around your neck like a constriction, almost boa constrictor like. And she'll say, yeah, that's perfect. And she'll retrieve the ring and the notes, but leave anything that's not a body part of the person they're looking for behind.
so much.
You doing okay?
So much.
It's a little tight. Let me know when you're done.
And she'll grab him by the hair and then like loosen her grip. My apologies.
And he'll help her back down. Like, no, not a problem. It's my pleasure.
She'll pat him on the head as she's set back on the ground.
As you kind of remove these items, a sort of dark unease will settle over you, holding these things. And you will all see a spectral form of a young, beautiful human woman wearing a sparkling tiara and a shoulderless, trailing ball gown. And she will just waltz into this room as if, like, going about her business, smiles at you and giggles, beckoning, and then walks straight through the door to your left.
Now that's more my type.
Oh, you're no fun.
I like my women ethereal.
Yeah, sometimes
Walking
you
through
just want
doors.
what you can't have.
She walked through the door, not like
Through the door. No, she walked straight through a closed door into another
Okay.
room.
So do we follow what's obvious, or do we go another direction?
I want to know
Obvious.
what's written on this piece of paper first.
That's also very fair.
Yes, the piece of paper appears to be a page of sheet music from an unfinished song.
Could I please have it?
Yeah, you're a musician.
I am.
Cly will hand it over, assuming she's got it the right way up, and it's not.
Yeah. So, what would I need to decipher this song or recognize it?
So it looks very much like it looks like a bard's ballad work in progress. There's a bunch of like common like shorthand notes, musician shorthand, that are frequently used throughout bardic colleges. So it would seem that someone was just like this was their opus that they were working on.
When you said
Did one of-
Bard College, I'm just seeing like crescendo, crescendo, crescendo.
Only the first one at the end, but was one of the companions a bard-looking individual?
Yes. One of the it was the tiefling. And you will see a name. The author of this sheet of music was Catastrophe.
Sharon's gonna look at the melody that's written there, memorize it, ball it up, and say, it's terrible.
And I'm gonna just because I have it.
Comment for us, please.
In the chat is the actual like song lyrics.
Ooh.
It's a long song.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you guys say where you were going next?
Well, there was a woman. Who
Oh,
went to the-
I'm so sorry. In addition to the sheet music, the blood-soaked pouch. I assume you're looking through the items that you got.
Yeah.
There are 2 halfling-sized eyes. And a
It's
bracelet
tasteful.
of tiny turquoise prayer beads. And you will, yeah, there was a halfling in the images that Catherine showed you. And also, while you're holding this, Catherine is just staying very far back from you.
She will, like, Cly has her back turned to Catherine as she finds eyeballs and the belongings of her companions. Yeah. Well, nothing as useful as I would have hoped. Where shall we be off to?
We'll see where our little nightingale went.
All right. You want to follow into
Yeah.
there? Okay. Into that area. You will walk to those doors, open those doors, and it appears to be a sort of music room. And while the doors actually appear locked at first, because of age and decay, they will just kind of open as you kind of wrench on the handle and push open. And you will see music room engraved above the lintel as you get closer.
A lot of wine and gold passed through this room.
Catherine is going to hang back, just very clearly not wanting to go in there.
Cly will ask about that. What happened?
She will create a minor illusion of beautiful spectral looking dancers, and then a giant illusion of just a skull.
Take care.
Is there anything around the room that might be of note?
Yeah, so when you enter the room, you will see that the walls are paneled with seaside scenes painted on faded canvas, surrounded with gilded seashells, coral, and blown glass flowers. There's a harp, a spinet, and a zither, and they are floating in the air in front of a fireplace on the south wall. Two large picture windows, both bricked up, dominate the west wall. And the instruments are playing a beautiful, haunting melody of their own accord. And in the center of the room, the spectral young lady that you saw walk in here is dancing with the lifeless corpse of a male tiefling. She holds the body up. His boots are torn, his feet mangled, trails of blood visible along the floor. And one of his ears is missing. A male ghost in an elegant 3/4 coat with his hair tied back in a ribbon materializes and bows. "Will you dance?" he asks.
Well, sure. But his father being a bard, knows how well that when you dance, you need protection. And he'll cast protection from evil and good.
Okay.
Don't
Meanwhile,
dance with the devil unless you've got protection.
The ghost, the instruments begin instantly when you say yes. The animated instruments begin playing a waltz. And please make a performance check for me. And while you do that, meanwhile, the female ghost spins the tiefling's corpse into a chair and moves towards you. To the rest of the party.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, she's gonna just move towards the door where the rest of you are, smiling, her arms kind of open, and say, "He was a poor dancer. If you perform better, perhaps you won't require lessons."
So he looks at the woman who comes up and says that, and he holds a finger up to her and says, "I'm sorry, young lady, but the gentleman asked me." And then he takes the gentleman and gets a 19 performance to dance with the male ghost.
All right, you dance skillfully and gracefully to the apparent delight of both ghosts. And at the conclusion of the song, both ghosts bow deeply. And the man will take your hand and kiss it with an icy tingling sensation. And he will say, "Now that was a dance." And you will see the door on the other side of the room. It will kind of click and open. And he will look into your eyes and say, "Do come again. We always have room on our dance cards. And we're always here." And then he will leave you and take up the girl and begin dancing. They begin dancing together, ignoring the rest of you.
Karen's going to walk up to him and clapping. That was amazing.
Thank you.
I would say I couldn't do better, but that's not true because I rolled a 22. But you did a great job.
The performance of mental gymnastics.
Perhaps we could visit again, but we have a job.
Yeah. So I guess.
And yeah, just like the entire time, Valencia definitely would have been like making sure that like Catherine did not look into that room and see her friend like that, because yikes.
Okay. She is still standing outside of the room, but are you guys continuing on, or are you coming back out and going into another direction?
I'm going to inspect the bard's body and turn it away from the door.
Okay. It's very clearly a tiefling. And you can find on them a dagger and a pouch containing 5 gold pieces and a potion of healing.
Do the ghosts seem to have any interest in the body anymore, or they
No,
left it?
and they seem very satisfied with your dance and are just now dancing all to themselves, kind of whining about the room, ignoring you guys completely.
Asmodeus is gonna go and pick up the body and walk him outside, and then lay him down so that they can retrieve it later.
Okay, Catherine's eyes are just going to follow as you carry him and just like, and then go back to staring ahead. What is everyone else doing? Are you guys looking in this room? Are you following? There is that door on the opposite end. There are also still many unopened doors leading off from the main hallway.
The door that unlocked is intriguing to Cly.
Okay.
I
Okay.
agree.
Agreed.
All right. Yeah, if you walk past through the door that kind of clicked and opened, you will see that this room appears to be a kind of dining room. It's very spacious. Must have once been very rich and handsome, but now is covered in grimy dust and mold. The most prominent object is a long table with a tablecloth spread on it, as if a feast had been prepared but never actually enjoyed. There is a centerpiece of some kind in the middle of the table, but it is so heavily overhung with cobwebs that its form is undistinguishable, and it is covered in black fungus, and speckle-legged spiders with blotchy bodies are running in and out of it. 8 skeletons in rotting finery, some wearing elaborate wigs, are seated around the table in front of silver plates and crystal goblets. The fire, as you enter, suddenly springs to life in the dark fireplace in the northwestern corner of the room, and wintry candles on the chimneypiece ignite with a sickly yellow light. And the skeletons don't animate or anything, but you will hear whispers, almost haunted echoes of past conversations. You know, a toast, ladies and gentlemen, to Lord and Lady Bright Blossom. Hear, hear, to winter flowers, warm hearts, and life eternal, and wine, and cakes. Who is that strange new lady? She seems to be everywhere in this house lately. My dears, I thought that last year's midwinter ball was something special, but tonight you have really outdone yourselves. Her name is Maggie, I believe. She is Bright Blossom's new favorite. I can't imagine why. She's perfectly ghastly, if you ask me. If you'll excuse the vulgarity, I can't help but observe that it is one hell of a party. And as Catherine kind of follows up behind you, you will hear a voice almost address her directly and say, "So nice to see you again, Catherine. We didn't expect you back so soon. Did you leave something behind?" At which point all of the voices will just burst out laughing and then go silent.
Well, actually, she did. She left her voice here. Have you seen it?
There
I
is
heard
no
it, maybe.
answer.
Like, oh, baby, no.
What are you guys doing?
I know this one. I've read Hecate Peg. We have to figure out which dish is which skeleton's favorite.
What is Hecate Peg?
It's a children's
than-
book.
Other than the name of your sex tape. What?
Oh, that's Hecate Peg?
It was low-hanging fruit, and I plucked it right out of the tree, okay?
You do you.
I
I'm sure you always go for that low-hanging fruit.
do. Always. Yeah, so as you enter in the room, and you hear all of this happen, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna approach the table, inspect closely with everything that's on there.
Okay, yeah, so that mass in the middle that's covered with black fungus and spiders kind of scurrying in and out of it. Roll an investigation for me.
All right. 19.
A 19, yes. So this is clearly what happens to an elaborate, multi-layered cake if abandoned for several decades, sans refrigeration. The spiders that seem to be living in it appear to be harmless. They don't seem interested in you at all.
Good to know. And let's see. I'm guessing all the skeletons are just dead, rotting people.
Yes.
Is it safe to assume everybody was poisoned in this room all at the same time?
Ooh.
What a twist!
Say what?
Either that or something.
There's no obvious sign of poisoning.
I wouldn't try the food either.
I mean, you can if you want to see if there's poison, you may try the cake. Though I would say that if there was poison, it is now much outdone by whatever that fungus is that is growing in it.
Cly will take the tip of her rapier and sort of poke at the cake to see if there's anything inside of it.
Yeah, more spiders will kind of come scurrying out.
And she'll brush them off nonchalantly.
Okay.
Is there anything else on the table or the skeletons that might catch my eye?
There appears to be nothing else. Just that doorway on the other side of the room from where you came in.
All right. Well, Karen will approach it.
Okay. It seems to just be are you opening the door?
Yeah, I'll attempt to open it.
Okay. It is locked. So if you could roll a Thieves' Tools check for me. A dex check.
Wow, I'm rolling on fire today. 19. Beyond 20 is being good to me today.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, so you are able to open the door, and this door connecting from the dining room seems to go into a ballroom. And as you kind of step in, the marble walls of this ballroom rise to a half-domed roof. The walls are lined with crystal recesses that emit a pale blue light. There's a crumbling balcony hanging over the south side of the room. And at the east end of the room, the floor has kind of collapsed into a dark, gaping pit. 2 rows of lit candles line the floor, seeming to invite you towards the pit. And these panels kind of just radiate illusion magic.
I'll relay this to the party if they haven't already followed me through the door.
I will follow you through the door, and she's not one to reject an open invitation, so she'll go check out the pit.
Okay. As all of you, is everyone stepping into this room?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're following.
Okay, as all of you step into the room, and Vermin, Clyde makes her way down this row of candles, there will be a phantasmal figure of a young man will appear in the center of the room. And it appears to be like kind of near the edge of the pit. And he will lift his head to look at Catherine beyond you. He is a young man, and obviously Wilhelm von Croft from the images that you were shown. Sweat drips from his black hair and runs down his pale face. And he will say, "Well, what are you waiting for? We can secure the grapple here." And he stoops and secures a transparent rope and grappling hook to a block of fallen masonry at the edge of the pit, as if going through the memory of what has happened here before. Because as he ties it into place, you notice that kind of underneath this phantasmal reenactment, there is actually a real grappling hook and rope that are already affixed to that spot. There. What's wrong? I told you, Catherine, there is no turning back. Wait, what are you doing? And then you will see an image of Catherine kind of come into form next to him. Her gaze seems to be fixed on the man. She is breathing heavily, and seems almost shaky. And the air surrounding her suddenly fills with a rush of faint, sinister whispers, as if many voices are all speaking at once, just at the edge of hearing. You can't understand what the whispering voices are saying, but the words just seem to fill you with dread. They seem to flow through the air, moving from Catherine to settle on this man, and his eyes grow wide with terror. He will say, "No, no, keep back, keep away from me." And he will reel backward, almost like a drunkard, blind with fear, losing his footing and toppling into the pit. There is a sick crunch of muscle and bone as he lands somewhere below. "Catherine?" His voice rises weakly from the dark. "Catherine, I think something is down here." And then there's an agonized scream from below, and a huge gout of blood will spurt up from below the pit, splattering the ceiling and floor around it. The illusion of Catherine fades at that point. What do all of you do?
Oh, you poor things. So we probably have to go down there, but who knows if there is going to be anything to bring back from the sounds of it.
Well, I did promise that I would bring back the boy's body, and I am a man of my word. My mother would never let me live it down if I didn't. So, to the grappling hook.
If it carries him, it can carry the rest of us.
Is anyone talking to Catherine?
Cly is definitely looking at her.
Okay. She is definitely just sitting there, like staring forward, and kind of will look up at you all nervously. Shame clearly visible on her face.
And Cly will look over at her, and not like in a judging way or like I'm in her like most even and like conversational tone. "Did you want him dead?"
She will put up an image, and it's just a still image, but it seems to be like her trying to leave, and Wilhelm like grabbing her arm, like seemingly to yank her back. And then there will be another image that she shows where he's clearly very like angrily gesturing at her in a very threatening manner. And her another image of her glancing at the door and him very clearly hand on the hilt of his sword. Again, very threatening gestures. And then an image of him with his back turned and her going to cast.
Oh. So there was more here than we saw, or were you subject to an illusion?
She will think about this for a second, trying to figure out how best to explain, and put up an image of all of the party looking like they're telling the tiefling no, as he seems to be walking into that ballroom. Another image of them standing around a halfling in the middle of a carpet with these bird cages around, all of them reaching out, also seeming to be calling out in concern or fear for their party member. An image of her then clearly in an argument with Wilhelm. An image of her standing in front of the doorways of this place, obviously leaving, with a look of relief on her face. And then instantly an image, again, of Wilhelm holding her arm, hand on his hilt. And it seemed very much that she was wanting to leave and was not being allowed to.
Choose one of the smart ones.
Hey, I've got the rope tied around me. Could you someone double check my knot?
Meanwhile, he's just over here
like
rigging himself up.
Like, and by his knot, I mean like it's like he's tying like the shoelace knot. Like that's the only knot he knows.
Oh, I can help you with knots.
Oh, if you could.
Yeah, I'm gonna go help with knots. We come up with a really reasonable harness, just coiling the rope around you. We have to redo your work, but it's fine.
Yes. Catherine is going to look around at all of you and then just reach out and put a hand up to Karen and put up an image of this older woman with a malicious glint in her eye. And Catherine just standing there, obviously terrified. And then an image of Catherine leading a party of very, like, no-faced adventurers here. And then an image of this older woman, like, kind of gleefully like this. And then an image of Catherine kind of presenting these adventurers. And then an image of something returning to Catherine. And she will look down below and kind of shake her head.
Who saw that?
It was directed at you, as I understand it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone could see it, because it's just a minor illusion that's kind of going up in the air.
Yeah. So, have they jumped yet?
So just point of order, my passive perception is a 9, so I probably didn't see it.
Meanwhile, he's just doing the whole heave-ho movement on the edge of this pit.
Does he need to be belayed? I think he might need to be belayed.
Yeah, just hold up there, Jumbo. Okay.
What is it? Yeah. Guys, I think we may be falling into a trap here. And then I will explain to the group that I believe our little survivor here is actually bait and may have actually been bribed to get us here. If we go down there, I believe we should be ready for combat.
Did the woman from the illusions resemble Helena at all? Just curious.
Did not.
Okay.
But if we go down there, she gets her voice back, right?
Yes, but I believe our blood is the price for it.
As you say this, you can look down and see that there are dried bloodstains visible around the edges of this pit.
Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs, right? And Clyde's gonna lick her lips.
I do like omelets.
This is the most himbo energy.
Well,
And maybe our little sparrow can sing for us if we come back. Eh?
And we can't.
Are you
see,
directing
like,
this
down
at Catherine? Because she won't even know how to respond to that.
Still, silent image of a middle finger.
Hi, spooky tyrant. just
Ty,
kept
what does
us.
that mean? Random magical item.
Oh.
Oh. Okay, hold on. Random magical item. Let's roll to see who gets it.
Oh no, it's too bad, Tim. Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Well, I still have to roll to see who gets it. Let's roll. I guess a D4. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, heck. It's a 1. I'm very sorry. Okay, let me... And I guess 2 bad tables. All right, hold on. Ah! Try that again. And a 2. Asmodeus. Let's see here. The first one shall be... Will you remind me of your class again, Heck?
I'm a blood hunter.
Blood hunter, that's right. Yeah.
There's a lot of blood to hunt.
Exactly. I was like, my character loses blood all the time. Like, this doesn't faze me.
All right. 7. So the next time that you make an attack, your enemy will be able to react to your attack as if by opportunity attack. Just you attacking will prompt a free opportunity attack for them.
Hopefully you have range.
It
I
counts
do.
for range too. If it is ranged, they can perform the opportunity attack on any ally of yours within melee
Ooh.
range. So they just get a free opportunity attack just in general by the sheer action of you attacking. Okay, and then second bad table for Asmodeus. That one will not work. That is not applicable. You get disadvantage on your next attack roll against an opponent. Okay.
Sounds like the perfect time to jump in.
Okay. Are you guys descending down?
Yeah, Charlie's just gonna look at the girl and go, "You better have a wonderful singing voice when we're done with this." He's gonna walk over and get himself hooked up to the rope.
We can't see in this pit. Like, can we?
Do you guys have
No.
dark vision?
It's
I
about
do.
30 feet down, but it seems to like just land at some stone with nothing really visible, and seems to continue in a tunnel down.
All right. Like, I was just gonna drop a torch down there
Okay.
so we don't like land into nothing. So yeah, I'm gonna strike the torch, throw it down there.
As that falls and lands, you will actually see that what you thought was stone cobblestones is actually human bones. And that there's maybe small recesses around the walls that are filled with skulls.
Does anybody
As
know what
the-
his...
Oh, I was just gonna say, as the torch falls, you will actually see the skulls kind of look up and then follow it down as it lands.
Good to know. More interior decorating. Okay.
One day.
One day, gold.
One day.
Oh, you could just usurp this place maybe after we're done, huh?
Let's take it over. Bring back the
I
glory
fucking
of the
done
old
with it.
Pleasure Palace days.
Come on down to the Bone Palace.
Maybe with more zombies this time.
50% more zombies.
Are you continuing down? You can use this grappling hook to kind of just descend the 30 feet into this lower level.
How long is the rope?
We'll say 40 feet.
And
Yeah,
we
like
tied off on the thing.
We tied me with a harness, so that's like 10 feet.
Yeah, but just like
15 foot.
between four
It is as
adventurers with,
many
like,
feet
50
that you
yeah,
need
like,
to get
Yeah.
down there.
So
Yeah.
So it's basically 15 feet.
It's
to tie
100
me up
foot
in a
rope.
harness.
Yeah.
Well, it's 15 feet to tie me up with a harness, so there's 25 feet of rope left. So hearing that we're going to go down, Asmodeus is going to grab his 3 new best friends and say, "To adventure!"
Oh. Okay, that's how we're going down.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
You're supposed to be this colossus.
I believe in Clyde's knots.
yeah, so you land kind of with a crunch against bone. You will see to the west on the wall, there's like an elegant blue and gold painted door hanging in the west wall, like about 10 feet off the ground. You look around, and as all of you land, you see the skulls in the wall recesses are all just kind of following you. All of their eyes just kind of locked on. And you will hear a voice say, "Welcome home." And it is impossible to determine which skull spoke. And there is no further communication.
It feels like home.
Actually, my home is in a farm in an orc village, but I mean, really, if you were here, you could have answered the door when we knocked. It's just rude at this point.
There will be no response from the skulls.
It's just
However,
one
they
path
do
forward.
still seem to be just staring at you. I'm sorry, what was that, Karen?
No, I was gonna ask. There's just one path forward,
Yes, just that door.
and I am going to just pick up the torch and hand it to my large friend here and tell him lead the way.
I'll take the torch and move forward.
Okay. The door is painted about 10 feet off the ground. So I
That's what
don't
pythons
know.
are for.
Huh?
That's what pythons are for. We
All
throw in
right.
some pythons.
Yeah, very good. Easily solved. You guys throw in some pythons and climb up and go through the door. It is not locked. You are able to just open it up into a sort of long hallway, like an almost sculpture gallery. As you kind of like climb up and through and step into this hallway. There are 2 large sculpted stone faces flanking the near end of this hallway. The face mounted on the south is slightly closer to you, and then there's blank stone panels that line the north and south of the hallway beyond these two faces. There's a door at the west end of the hallway, flanked by two low stone pedestals. And on the north pedestal crouches the statue of a cowering man, and the south pedestal is empty. What do you guys
Interesting taste.
Aaron
Are
will
there like names under these at all?
So glad you asked.
Oh,
So,
boy.
so the stone face on the south wall depicts an eyeless male halfling. Those of you that were watching the images that Catherine showed you would recognize him. And the name below, there's a plaque that says Cade Cabbager. The stone face on the north wall is a male tiefling missing an ear. The plaque says Catastrophe. If you continue on these like blank wall panels, you will see that your names are also inscribed on plaques, as if waiting to have your own sculpted stone mask added to this hall. There are just enough blank panels to represent each one of you, as well as Catherine. As you continue walking down the hallway, you will notice that on the pedestal supporting the statue of the cowering man, it says Wilhelm von Croft.
Does he look like somebody who had just sickly crunched at the bottom of a pit in his statue shape?
He does not. He looks very much like himself, but cowering and afraid. As you walk down this hallway and pass by the first death mask of Cade Cabbager, the sculpture will actually begin to glow. And the face will animate with like kind of a rough stone sound as it moves. And it will speak in the voice of the deceased halfling. The beautiful birds, they wouldn't let me leave. So I died like a bird in a cage, thirsty and frightened and alone. Show me the prize I died for.
Oh, Cly, may I have that bag? Referring to the bloody patch.
Yeah.
He's going to go over and said, "Here, I believe these are yours," and we'll return the eyes to the halfling.
Yes. You place the eyes into this statue, and they will actually slowly transform to stone, and the mask will go still. As you approach and go past the other mask, the face glows and begins reciting a ballad. When it finishes its recitation, it stops glowing and goes silent. But you would recognize it, Karen, as the song that you found the piece of music for. Are you guys doing anything else while in this hallway? Or are you just walking to the end?
I think for the most part, since he was told to go for it, Asmodeus is going forward to the inn after returning the eyes. Did we take the ear from the
I
tiefling?
don't think we did, because I was just thinking that. It's like we didn't take all the items. We weren't looters.
No.
We could go back and get it.
We could.
I mean, technically, his whole body's out of here because I did remove it out of there.
It'll probably be fine, right?
We could give him the song.
Yeah. I mean, he has it. He just sang it, but
I'll
we
sing
do
it
have
back
it.
to him. I'll harmonize.
Okay, there will be kind of a sigh, and his the stone will kind of settle with a final like kind of creaking almost, and there will be nothing more.
I like this. Is the door at the other end locked?
It is not. However, as you grow closer to it, the statue of Wilhelm von Croft will actually animate and look up at you, and it has red glowing eyes, and he will look at you and say, "You will become like us."
Oh, I believe we have your ring.
Are you going to put the ring on him?
I'll take it and put the ring on him.
Yeah, he will actually go back to his form, a little less cowering and a little more restful. Okay. And you guys are welcome to kind of turn the handle of this door. And mechanically, I will let you know that you guys just avoided a whole shit ton of damage.
Oh, great.
I was just doing what felt right for Asmodeus.
Yeah, no, very good.
Oh, here's your eyes. Sorry.
So who is opening the door? Okay, Asmodeus, as you open this door, it appears to open into a sort of chapel. The walls and vaulted ceiling in here were once decorated with pastoral murals in purples and pinks and blues. The paint has mostly flaked off, revealing black and gray stone beneath. In the center of the room is a large, slab-like stone altar. The body of a young, dark-haired man in chainmail lies upon it. A small, folded paper card lies at his feet.
Luca, can you check chat really quick?
Yes. Before we continue forward, though, we will take a short break. And then we will return. Everyone, take 5, and we'll be right back. Okay. So, you enter this sort of chapel underground, where you can see Wilhelm von Croft's body laid out on a stone altar in the center of this room, with a folded paper card lying at his feet. What are you doing?
I may not be highly experienced as an adventurer, but I feel like this is a trap.
Just a little. Just a little. Yeah.
Well, I'll approach with caution.
Yeah, just kind of look around, like at the floor in front of you, like anything. I don't know, anything weird about, like, are there any like stained glass windows or anything that look kind of strange?
What?
It'd be very weird
Would you
if
like
there were
to
stained
roll?
glass windows.
Would you like to roll something for me? Perception?
Sure. Or maybe like investigation.
Whichever
See.
you would like.
Much better, 22.
Okay, so you looking around this room, it's an octagonal room, and you have entered kind of on the east side. And there's just like standard pillars, but no windows around, and this stone slab in the middle. However, you will notice there is like almost with this roll of yours, almost a faint line in the stone, in the shape of a doorway to the south, and possibly a small, what looks like just a regular, like kind of crack in the stone, a little hole almost. Could also possibly be a keyhole, a peephole. You're not sure.
Okay, as appetizing as the option of going into that trap sounds, I think there might be a secret over here. Secret tunnel? Hmm?
Secret tunnel.
But the body we came to retrieve is right there.
Yes, but who knows what might be going out of that door?
Who
potentially knows? Someone that, yeah, potentially.
I mean, I know,
that,
but who knows?
You know.
Well, it's like my father always said. Son, if you're ever going to go into a sacrificial altar with a dead body to retrieve the corpse, go in with protection. I'm going to cast Protection from Good and Evil again, because I think 10 minutes have passed since I last cast it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Will you describe for me again what that spell does?
So Protection from Evil, its concentration lasts up to 10 minutes. Until the spell ends, one willing creature you touch, which I'll choose myself at the moment, is protected against certain creature types, which include aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Any creatures of these types that try to attack me have disadvantage on their rolls. I'm also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If I were already possessed, charmed, or whatever, then I would get advantage on the next saving throw.
Yeah.
I have to say, Asmodeus, it is a little concerning how often your dad spoke of making sure you had protection.
But my father was a bard, after all.
I nod my head and understand it.
Well, I'll tell you what. How about someone walk up to the obvious trap, and then one or two of us stay on either side of this doorway while that happens.
Sounds perfect, and walks forward.
All right,
It's a date.
I'm gonna stand on the outside of this door, just
I
like
will
pushed
as
up against the
well.
wall.
I am a frail man.
Everyone goes from 10 feet to 100 feet.
I guess if you two are standing by the door, I'll follow behind Asmodeus and kind of unlink my whip. I'll give him 10 feet.
Okay.
Just looking at that ass.
Okay.
Considering the range of my whip, really.
Asmodeus, you walk up to the body of Wilhelm von Croft, and what are you doing here?
I'm approaching respectfully. Basically to just pick up the body so we can retrieve it.
Okay. Are you picking up the note at all?
Is there like writing on the note that's visible?
Yes, it says in an elegant flowing hand, compliments of the house. And it's like a folded card.
And it's like the fancy handwritten speech? Okay, I can't read that.
Yeah.
I have an 8 intelligence.
Right. Okay.
So I'm just going to pick up the body.
Okay. You will see that there are fresh stitches around its neck and both wrists.
Oh, looks like they did some repair.
Okay. Are you doing anything else?
I'm a simple man.
Do we need the whole thing, Asmodeus? I think we've established we don't need much.
I'm just here to pick up the body.
Okay. What are you heading towards the door? What is everyone else doing?
Sharon will walk closer, seeing as that he didn't explode.
It's always a good sign.
I'm curious what's written on the card.
Yeah. I assume you're going to pick it up and read it.
I'll angle over in that direction.
Okay. If you pick up the card, on the front of the card, it says compliments of the house, and on the inside, it appears to just be a scroll of raised dead.
I don't know. I'm suddenly real unsure about all this. We shouldn't resurrect that body.
Well,
This.
no, his family's going to resurrect it.
Hmm,
So
I
we should.
don't think that's Wilhelm.
What's the market value of a raised dead scroll?
Quite a bit,
lot.
actually. Yeah,
So-
quite a bit.
Point of order:
no.
you should probably wait until we're out of the dungeon to see if we no longer need it. You know.
I'm just saying, like, hear me out. We could leave him, sell this in the next town, probably make 200 gold a piece, easy. Probably more.
At the same time, we do want to help our little dove get her voice back.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't
there
really
haven't been a
care
whole
for the
lot
Von
of
Crofts.
answers. Yeah, maybe there are answers to getting that voice back in the secret door. I think there's something. I don't know. There's something going on with this.
I think we should set Wilhelm down on a pew and come back for him. You know.
Okay. Just sets him down.
Okay.
I do respectfully, like, you know, take his hands, put him in his lap, like, make sure that he's just kind of sitting there resting.
Are you just sitting up, like,
That
sitting
sounds so
up
weird.
next to the, sitting
no,
up next to the slab, just like
There's pews, right? It's cathedral.
Weekend at Bernie's, you know, and just like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
but
me
there's
at church.
yeah, there's church pews because it's a cathedral, right? So he's just sitting in one of the pews, like he just fell asleep during the sermon.
Yep.
You know, I'm just positioning to make sure that he's there. You know, good and comfortable.
yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Catholic mass be like.
Okay.
Ooh.
True, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we got a teddy bear.
Oh. Meanwhile, while you're doing this, Catherine is just like kind of backing up.
Oh, does she
against
come with
the
us?
wall. Yeah, she's in here, but she is
'Cause
backing up against the wall, not wanting to like go any further. She seems very, very nervous.
I didn't even notice I grabbed her when I grabbed everyone.
Oh, we ignored that like 3 rooms ago. So
Yeah, I assumed that you grabbed her, but maybe
She
you didn't.
ca-
She would have dropped
She
down after
came
you, I
down
guess. Yeah,
the rope after us.
yeah,
And she's like, I do not want to be left here alone.
right.
Catherine, have you been here before? Can you show us what happened here, maybe?
She will show again that same image of like her voice going away.
Ah,
And
so
then
creepy
and
lady.
then show more images of the lady and what appears to be like almost an agreement of her leading adventurers back here that for this person, and then she would get her voice back, and it's possibly the only reason she made it out of here.
Yeah, I think our welcoming committee is somewhere nearby.
Her eyes are gonna flick to the wall.
Yep. Think we gotta go through the secret tunnel, y'all. I'm very happy about.
Well, maybe we'll find a couple more resurrection scrolls and we'll all make a big profit.
Maybe.
Fly licks her lips hungrily.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, does this look like a keyhole, or like now that we're closer to it, like what's going
Actually,
on?
as you walk up to it, you are going to see like a flicker of light, as if someone was watching through that hole. And as you walked up closer, they stepped away from the hole. But it does
a
look.
voyeur.
It is a pleasure palace, so. As you
Sorry,
kind of
what
look
was
at
the purpose of the pit in the pleasure palace?
No one asked about the pit in the pleasure palace.
They
I'm more
cater.
concerned about the-
There's no kink judging in the pleasure palace. They cater.
I just like.
I want to be in a like half crypt, set 30 feet down. Yeah, that's my thing.
I want to relive
While
the
the
300
skulls
moments.
watch, you know.
Yeah, they get off on 300 moments, so they're like, kick me into the pit. Just kick me in the
Yeah,
pit.
they're just putting the romance in necromancer. That's it. That's all.
Ah, inspiration, heck. Okay, so if you're going up to this wall, you can kind of like feel along the crack in this stone, and it looks like you could potentially like kind of press it in, almost like popping it out. Are you doing so?
Yeah, the Bart wizard will make an attempt.
Okay. Yeah, Karen comes up, follows the line, and just kind of does the whole press in, and there will be a click, and revealing that this is in fact a door that opens into a small kitchen.
That's anticlimactic.
It is a cluttered space. Must have at one point been the palace's kitchen, but now the room smells of death and decay. Rusting pots and pans dangle from hooks on the ceiling, together with the rotting bodies of small animals. A nest-like bed of twigs and moss and scraps of clothing fills one corner, and a cauldron of bubbling blue liquid dominates another. You see, standing by a counter, a rotund, elderly human woman in a servant's apron.
Hello, ma'am. Sorry to bust in.
Welcome. And her eyes are just going to hone in on Catherine. What brings you here? May I offer you something to eat?
Sorry.
I
You can go.
was just gonna say if Asmodeus even begins to say something, Cly is going to silence him.
I mean, his mouth would start to open.
Good.
Sharon would just approach and say, I apologize, we're in a bit of a hurry, but we do wonder if you could help our friend here. She seems to have misplaced her voice.
I don't believe she misplaced it. I believe she traded it. Isn't that right, Catherine?
Well, she can't speak because she doesn't have her voice, so.
Yeah, that's kind of rude.
And can't believe you would do that to the poor girl. You know her situation. Bully the cook. Bully the cook. Make them so uncomfortable that they tell us the secret of this room.
The woman will look at you and say, Of course, I am very skilled in offering trades. She did get something well worth it in return. I could offer similar to you, should you want.
What
Would
did
you
you
like
trade?
to trade with Maggie?
Well, what did you trade with her?
Well, that's between her and the trade with me.
It looks to Catherine.
I don't
What did you trade with
kiss
her?
and tell.
I look at Catherine. What did you trade? What was the trade?
She's just gonna like gesture to herself and the fact that she is standing there.
Oh,
Hey, welcome, Raiders!
well, first of all, hold on. You can't trade her life if she already has it. Was
but
this
she was in
Catherine-
danger of losing it. I just guaranteed its continuance in exchange for a small thing from her.
Catherine, was this consensual?
Catherine will just like look at you and not wanting to like answer, just kind of shrink up against the wall near the doorway.
Okay, I know abuse when I see it, ma'am. This is wrong. You are wrong. You do not own her life to trade it first off. This is not consent.
So while this conversation is happening,
Yeah.
before things get a little bit more heated and tense, are we the only like people in the room with this woman? Is it just her?
Yeah,
and
this is like a 20 by 20 square room.
Is there another exit?
Mm-mm.
Okay, good to know.
She will look at you and say, well, it was mine to trade, since I was currently in possession of whether or not it continued. It was up to me. I think it was a fair arrangement. She lives, she breathes, she can thrive just fine.
Oh, that's nothing. By your logic, I could say that I offer you your life, because therefore I could end it. That's not consent.
I don't believe you actually have any claim over my life.
Well, and you don't have any claim over her life, but you're trading it away like it's candy.
So there will be no trade today?
You need to give her voice back, because that trade was incomplete and non-consensual.
I will make you a promise. If she can ask for her voice back, I will give it.
Okay. Looks, Catherine. Well, you've been talking to us. Go ahead and ask her back. You can form things with your pictures, right? You can write words.
Catherine will nervously just like look around at all of you and then look at Maggie and just put up the image of her like getting her voice back. And Maggie will say, I'm sorry, I didn't want art time. Your pretty pictures. I wanted you to ask, dear. Can you not ask?
That's asking. Are you negating non-verbal communication, ma'am?
I guess I am. She will look around at the rest of you and say, would you like to trade? Or is there nothing I can do here?
I'd like to attempt to charm her.
Ooh, go ahead.
I have charm person. And I mostly want to get a sense for whether or not
This is an actual person.
this
yeah,
is a person.
Mm-hmm.
And humanoid creature.
So, you cast this, and it goes off perfectly. However, you get the familiar sensation of the magic settling over her, and you know for a fact that it has no effect on whatever creature this is.
Neat.
Mechanically, she's immune to that condition.
I think Cly will kind of hiss like a cat when that happens. Just like
Yeah, she is just going to grin, and like the grin is just going to stretch slowly kind of taking over her whole face, and her entire form will change, revealing that of a night hag. And she's like, clearly no deals will be made today. And let's roll initiative.
Yeah, I already have a deal with the fiend. That's my pack. I don't need more.
Sorry,
One deal is
No more
plenty.
monopolies.
as much as
There you go. Oh, I'm just gonna say.
Natural 20. Let's go.
Yeah, call out your
I al-
4.
24.
That's a 12.
12, Clay. Okay, Karen. What was your roll?
Oh, sorry, I forgot I was Karen.
you are Karen. You should have been asking to speak to the manager this whole time.
I thought about it. I totally spelled different on purpose. 22.
22.
Yeah.
Okay, Asmodeus.
I also rolled a natural 20, so I have a 20.
Wow.
I mean, as you do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then let's see. We got that. Ooh, okay. She did not do too bad. Okay. So, Valencia, you are up.
Okay, cool.
As she transforms into a night hag in front of you.
Cool. Tell you what, we're just gonna really blood hunter this up and just start out with a blood curse, because why not? Yeah, I'm making sure this is an action. I'm pretty sure this is an action. So we're gonna go with that. No, it's a bonus action, but we're gonna start with it anyway. I am going to invoke my blood curse of binding, because that seems fun. So I am going to choose to amplify it first. So let me take the damage for that. Take 1 damage for that. And yeah, I am going to need a strength save.
Awesome. Okay. Strength save. A 23.
Yeah. Okay, well that makes it. That's unfortunate.
She just barely beat it.
It just barely,
Just
just by
barely.
10. Just by 10.
Just
Great.
one with the
Okay.
0.
Well, that's fun. That's fun. Okay. Tell you what. Seeing as that didn't work, she's just gonna take out her hand crossbow, I guess, and go for a hit.
All right.
Get Van Helsing in here.
19 to hit.
That will hit. This is
Awesome.
going to prompt that opportunity attack, though.
Yes, it will. I'm trying to avoid it with that blood curse, but it was not gonna work.
Okay, go ahead and do your thing, and then I'll do my thing.
Okay, so that
Roll your
is
damage.
9 damage.
Okay. 9 damage. Let me... Okay. Is it just the one attack?
Yeah, since I used my bonus action already.
Okay. Since you are all within this 20 by 20 foot room, she is just going to rush up to you. Claw. For an 11 to hit.
That won't hit.
Okay. All right. Karen.
I do have one question.
Yes.
So she has to run up. She probably would have to pass me. Do I provoke an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, we can just go back and forth. That's fine. Like, why not? Let's go.
I mean, I have disadvantage on my next combat roll. I'm just...
Yeah, go ahead and roll it. I'm fine with this.
Well, that was a natural 20. Okay, that's still an 18.
I regret this. Okay. Yeah, that'll hit. Roll your damage.
I knew how much damage I roll. There we go. 5 damage.
Okay. 5 damage. Karen, you are up.
All right. Karen is going to look at her, pull out his violin, and he's going to play a very annoying melody, which she feels just so annoying. She wants to burst into screaming because I cast R at her.
You cast what at her?
Point to another creature and shout a command word that calls the target to scream uncontrollably for the duration. The target is though the target has some ability to influence what they are screaming, it is largely unintelligible. While screaming, the target is naturally unable to cast any spells that require a verbal component, and any creature able to hear within 10 feet is also deafened.
And how long does this last?
Full round. So, and it's a, let's see, wisdom save of 13.
Okay.
I just imagine him pulling out his violin and be like, the most annoying song. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you go from?
12.
How's that
She
annoying?
rolled a 12.
A banger.
For a night hag, it might be.
Yeah, so she rolled a 12, so she fails.
Yeah, so now she screams uncontrollably for an entire round, unable to cast magic.
An entire round.
That's 1 round.
Okay. Is there anything else with your turn, Karen?
I'm going to back up out of her range, probably towards the wall, opposite direction she is. And I'm
Okay.
done.
Yeah, she begins just screaming. It's unintelligible rage. And she will be unable to cast anything that requires a verbal component. Asmodeus.
Ma'am, you need to calm down. We're having a discussion here.
Ma'am, this is a Denny's.
This is
He's,
Waffle House.
Can I please have my waffle?
Seeing that she's flying into a rage and she needs to calm down, attacking his one of his new best friends, he is going to channel divinity for sacred weapon.
Okay.
So he pulls out he has his warhammer, so it now begins to glow in a radiant white silverish light. I now get to add +1 to my attack rolls for the next minute. It also emulates light. Yeah. And I'll make an attack. I rolled another 18, so that's going to be like 24.
Yep, that's gonna hit.
So if I don't lose my die. 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
Because I'm not level 5, I can't. I can make an second attack with a bonus action, right? Or do I need to be level 5 for that? I think I need to be level 5.
Without looking at your sheet, I am not sure.
Actually, I think I'm done because I had to activate my sacred weapon anyway.
Right. Yep. You already used your. Okay. So it is her turn, and she is unable to. Does this? Fireball. She is going to just go up and claw. I think she's just gonna claw Valencia again, since she's right there, and she's raging out a little bit, screaming.
Since I'm also next to her, I'm gonna use my reactionary because I have protection as my fighting. So using my shield, I'm imposing disadvantage on the hag's attack roll.
Okay. Disadvantage. Oh no. A 9 to hit.
Nope.
All about protection.
Oh, this is not going great for me. Okay. Fly. You're up.
Me. I'm gonna make an attack with my whip. That's 19 plus whatever. So
What is with your rolls today, you guys? Okay, yep, that'll hit.
there's damage from that. That's not the important thing. It's a pittance of damage. It's 4 damage. Great.
Okay.
But I am gonna use that to activate grappling strike. So she cracks. Sorry, she's doing this right-handed because whip is the main hand weapon. She cracks her whip and she's trying to swing it around the hag so that she can't move her arms next round. And
Yeah.
So that she is grappled.
Yeah.
I get to roll a strength athletics check. Does it have to be strength since I'm doing it with a whip? Can it be dexterity athletics?
I'll
not
allow
what it
that.
says in the feature.
I'll
but
allow that. It's like a flick of the wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I'll allow it.
And the hag gets to roll athletics or acrobatics to counter, I think. is the
Yeah,
way it works.
contested. Yep.
I do get to add my superiority die to the roll, so that should be good. That's 21 plus.
Yeah, I rolled an 18. I thought it was gonna happen. Okay, all right. Yeah, she is grappled with your
She's
whip
grappled.
and
Yeah.
screaming. Okay. However, now that we are back at the top of the round, the scream will die down, and she will like kind of take in a few deep breaths, and her eyes will just flare with fury. Valencia, you are up.
Wait, before, as she calms down,
Oh yeah.
did you want to make a deal?
Inspiration, Marvin. That's good. Valencia, she will not respond to you. Valencia, you are up.
Okay. Yeah, Valencia's just gonna look up. She finally stops screaming. Good God. Good God. She was screaming, but not in the good way. I am going to, as a bonus action, invoke my Crimson Right. So I can imbue a weapon, strike for a d4 extra damage of, we'll say fire. That's my chosen type. And on invoking that, I take 4 damage. So great. I rolled a 4. So cool. But that is going to last until I don't have my weapon in my hand. So yeah, Valencia's just gonna take her dagger and try to stab here.
Okay.
For a 22. Not bad.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And then I'm getting my d4 because I don't want to use the dice roller. So 6 piercing damage plus 3 fire.
Okay.
And that is it.
Okay. It is now Karen's turn.
All right. Karen is going to play another somber tune, kind of like the one that we heard downstairs, just his own little kick on it. And as he does that, he's focusing on her shadow, and he will cast Animate Shadow, which is a wisdom save of 12.
Okay. Wisdom save.
Oh no.
A 7.
So now she has a shadow, her own shadow attacking her. We all get advantage on all rolls against her.
Oh my
I
god.
love this
All
spell
attack
so
with-
much. Oh, this is the best spell.
And the shadow deals 1d6 necrotic at the beginning of each of its rounds. So do I got to roll for that, or are you going to put it right behind me?
We'll just put it, we'll put it right after you in initiative.
Okay.
That'll be the easiest way to handle that.
So yeah, with that, we'll just jump to the shadows round. I'll roll a 1d4. Boom. Oh, 4 necrotic.
Uh-huh.
That's the
Okay.
Yep.
Asmodeus.
I do need to point out, because no one pointed it out last round, and I'm ashamed of myself for not figuring this out, but we did just watch a Karen turn a hag into a screaming rage.
I did not regret my name.
Yeah,
now.
just a regular day at the mall. Like that's just a Tuesday at the mall.
I mean,
but-
Karen has marched their way through this entire palace to find who's behind all this. Back in the kitchens, just like... yeah, no, 100%. Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna make my attack with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been an 8. It's going to be rolling a 13, so that's 19 total.
That'll hit.
That dice damage is not good. 4 damage.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Somatic needs hands if she's grappled. Damn it.
yeah. There are a lot of spells that have somatic components, huh?
A whole bunch. A whole bunch. Like, basically all of them.
Kind of hard to plane shift when you've got no hands, huh?
Damn it. Okay, she is going to attempt to strength her way out of this. Like, she's gonna just try and do an escape roll.
Ooh, is that against...
Yeah, it's the same. She's forcing the same rolls again.
Yeah, I have advantage on this roll, though, right?
It's a
That's
12.
Okay. Yeah, we're good. I rolled a 16.
Uh-huh. Okay, so she is grappled and restrained. Like, her arms are pinned. You've got the whip wrapped around her. Any of her normal, things that she would cast are not gonna work right now, and she was unable to escape from this. There goes all my action economy. Kalai, it's your turn.
Cool. I'm gonna roll right up to her and give her a big draining kiss.
Okay, roll it.
Oh shit.
Okay, so as per my ability, I need to check the exact wording of this. But I think she's restrained, so I can do it. Okay, she makes a Constitution saving throw versus 13.
So I'm gonna have to bring up one question, and it's just an in character thing because I just made a big deal about consent, and I'm seeing her tie up this hag and going in to kiss her without the hag seemingly wanting this.
I love this. However, I did meet it, beat it. I rolled a 13.
Okay, so you're gonna take half damage.
Okay. But yeah, what is Asmodeus doing in response to this?
I was gonna see if I could. I was gonna see because I haven't used protection this round to use protection to shield block the kiss to say it.
Like
I
talked about consent.
Will absolutely allow this. If you're all right with it, Vermin. Since this is
funny.
verging on PvP almost, so I want to just make sure
I'm
that
not
like
attacking.
yeah.
I know.
This is just a hey.
He's
Is
giving Vermin disadvantage.
Well, it would give technically, wouldn't it give?
It would give me advantage. Okay, so yeah, it's about the same result, but we'll let it narratively pop off.
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
What do you say, Asmodeus?
Clyde, we just talked about consent.
That's 18, so it's half of that as per the rules.
9 damage?
If-
Okay.
If you want to talk about your emotions with her after we're done with the voice, that's all we can do that.
Cly looks over to you. Her eyes are cat-like slits and like rimmed around the edges, red and yellow, kind of like Sith Lord type shit. And she's just like growling at you, "Let me eat."
We'll get food after this.
Yeah, we're heading over to Waffle House.
We're going with it. I think there's a Waffle House down the road.
Is that bottom of the turn?
That is, yeah, if that's it for you, Cly, unless there's something else.
I guess my other question is, does that count as... Well, no, I didn't make an attack with... I don't think I can use 2-weapon fighting there. So,
Okay.
yes, that's the end of my turn.
Yeah, that's the top of the thing.
Okay.
Was there
so-
something?
Yeah, animated shadow at the bottom. At the end of each round, you can attempt a wisdom save to remove the shadow.
All right. I'm gonna try.
All right.
A 17?
That dispels it.
Oh no.
Well-
Yeah, she will look sharply over at the shadow, and it'll just like melt back down and reform where it naturally should be. Valencia, you are up.
All right. How damaged is she looking at the moment? Like, she look pretty bad.
She's looking a little beat up. Like, there hasn't been a whole lot to prompt any major bleeding yet, but like mechanically she is blooded.
Okay. Sure. I'm just gonna keep stabbing. Anyway, I started blasting. Yeah, and this time I get to do 2 hits because I'm not using my bonus action for anything else. Alright, so the first one will hit with the 22.
Yep.
For 7 damage plus 1 fire damage. And then the second hit will also hit with the 21. For 7 damage again with 3 fire damage.
Okay.
And that is it.
All right. Karen, you're up.
All right. This is why I hate being a new adventure. You never know what your spell. You never remember all the spells you have. So he's gonna play a ditty little tune. Something sounds like, let's say fun. And this is actually gonna cast Bane on the hag. So she must make a charisma save.
A 16 as you cast your jaunty tune of Bane.
Yep, she just ignored it.
All right. She will just look at you, and there will not even be a tap of the foot. She is not here for it. Is there anything else, Karen?
No, that's my action. I'm good.
Asmodeus.
Okay, so her hands are still tied, right?
Yes.
And so at this point, he's just going to put his warhammer away. He's going to pull out his own rope, and he's going to start tying her up.
Okay, so she's still restrained by the whip. Like, are you just going over there while she's restrained and like, excuse me, and just like wrapping up her like feet and like whatever?
Yeah.
Like, pardon me, ma'am. I'm just,
Here,
tie
we're
some
going to tie you
knots.
up. Sorry. I mean, we want to talk this out.
Ask for consent.
You are right, sir. Ma'am, may I tie you up?
Oh man.
She's just gonna like look at you like she's very confused about what type of creature you are. And she will just sit there for a second, contemplate, and then respond, I do not consent.
Okay. That is fair. I do have to knock you unconscious because you are going out of order. So, pulls the warhammer back out. I no longer have a
Bonk.
spiritual weapon because I put it away, but bonk. Well, that was my turn to put it away. Well, no, it's a free action to pull it out. So,
Okay.
Ow.
Are you rolling the Warhammer attack?
Can I use my inspiration?
Sure, yeah, but I assume you're rolling it with non-lethal
Yeah,
damage to like bonk.
Yeah. So
Go ahead. Yeah.
How do you non-lethal Warhammer?
It's blunt. You're doing it with a lighter force.
It's very it's like a just a slight tap.
Get in the spots
her head
where
might
you're
be
definitely gonna hit bone first.
her head might be a little concave, but it's fine.
Fine.
17 to hit.
Beats it. Yep. Go ahead.
6 damage.
Okay. Unfortunately, that is not in. She will take the damage, and then just look at you and snarl. That is not enough to knock her out. And it is now her turn. She is going to, like, as she snarls, just going to begin screaming, and the edges of her are going to start to fade from view as she becomes more and more ethereal.
Hold on.
I'm describing this slowly in case anyone wants to do anything, because she is starting to just go and like just fade. It's if she's like stepping back through that like door of souls in Harry Potter, but like, do you know what I mean? But like very much in front of you.
Doesn't.
Peter, are you giving us a chance to be?
I'm trying to think.
I am giving you a reactionary chance if any of you have a reaction available or anything like that. Otherwise, she's going ethereal.
So technically, she is using a spell. So since we're in melee, would that provoke an attack of opportunity?
Sure.
Bonk. $18.
That will hit.
Keep it on the table. 4. Bonk.
If he gets an attack of opportunity, surely I do.
Sure, go ahead.
I thought you were gonna escape, and I rolled for that. Can I keep that roll, or should I roll again?
Please roll again.
You got it. That was a mistake.
Oh no.
That's a natural 20.
Okay.
Do we just roll twice here?
You roll the dice damage twice and then add in your modifiers.
I know I know more and more people who say max out one die and roll the other. So it's always worth checking. That'll be 7 plus 3. 10 sticking damage.
Okay.
Was that enough or no?
She is going to scream, and the edges of her are going to like shimmer almost. And it looks like, is anyone doing anything else? Like, I know
Because
everyone was jumping on their reactions, so before I describe this.
Yeah, if it looks like she's like about to disappear and like get away from us, I would like to take an attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Somebody search her pockets. She got a rock.
Got her spell.
Okay, I have to take a
got a cool
screenshot
rock.
of this. You're not gonna believe me. I have to take a screenshot. It's a natural 20. So I'm just gonna
The
take a
rules
screenshot
tonight.
of that D&D Beyond window just real fast. There it is. Okay. That is 9 piercing damage as well as 2 fire damage.
So again, the edges of her are going to shimmer. And it is appearing like she is fading from view in like an almost like puff of smoke. And the whip will fall to the floor.
Ah.
She is no more. You are out of initiative.
Oh, I don't like the sound of that.
I think it would be worse if we were still in initiative.
Yeah, maybe we're just out very shortly. But yeah, no, Valencia just turns to Catherine. Can you speak now?
And she's going to shake her head, and then she's going to run towards the back of the kitchen where there is a large spice rack that she opens with so many distillations with different labels on them. And she will kind of look through until she pulls out a bottle with a label on it that says Voice of Catherine Chamber.
Ah, I knew it was in the bottle.
Where else would you put it? Come on.
And she is just going to uncork it, and you will see this energy kind of float up out of the bottle and then go back into her. And she will just breathe for a second and then look around. Thank you.
Of course, and thank you for leading us here and not into, a horrible trap or something.
Well, I mean, you kind of did lead us into a horrible
Yeah,
trap.
definitely.
But at least told us about it.
Karen wants to look at the rest of that spice rack.
Yeah.
I will give-
Cilantro?
It's a whole bunch of bags of oregano, unsurprisingly.
Oregano.
No, there is a small, savory, meat pie wrapped up in brown paper with a tag reading Muscles of Hugh Grisborne. And I'm just giving you this information, but were you to cast Identify on it or something, take it back home, you would find out that if you consume this pie, it would be like taking a potion of hill giant strength.
Is it permanent?
No, it's just potion of hill giant strength.
All right.
Do I have to eat?
Unless you're surgically grafting the muscles into your muscles, then maybe there could be some argument there.
Do I have to eat the whole pie, or can we just divide this up into 8 equal pieces?
It's a hand pie.
It's a hand pie. Yep, I like that a whole lot better. There's also a mirrored kind of container, and engraved on the container is Beauty of Lily Bright Blossom. Yeah. This will, if you were to open this container and gaze in, you would receive a one-time only use of the spell Alter Self. There's also a glass beaker sealed with a cork filled with glowing green liquid, labeled Health of Malcolm Bright Blossom, and it's mechanically works as a potion of vitality. And there are 2 boots sitting below the spice rack on a shelf. They're very brightly multicolored, decorated harlequin boots. And inside the left boot is a tag, and on it is written Reginald Pomfrey's Hope for the Future. And these mechanically work as boots of striding and springing.
Does anybody need new shoes?
Well, this isn't my stuff. It's clearly labeled who it belongs to, so.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hold it on my feet until we find them.
Yeah,
That's
no
fair.
problem with that.
All right. Are you doing anything else in here. The rest mostly just seems to be her nest as you look about, with twigs, bone, moss, and mold. And then, it looks like random bits and bobs that she used for her extractions for her collection.
Can I roll a religion check on information about hags to see if I know anything about them?
Yes.
Could I also
Or
roll
history, either.
A knowledge check, given that I'm a creature of the ethereal plane?
13.
That is, actually, while they're doing that, I will use one of my Blood Hunter features. So I have advantage on checks to track fae, fiends, or undead, as well as, intelligence ability checks to recall info about them. Do I have any idea, like, what happened there with her just disappearing and leaving?
Yeah, you guys would know, your knowledge of hags is that they usually come in 3. They are soulmongers. They like to prey on victims in their sleep, slowly stealing away bits of their soul through nightmares. Where eventually their victims will die and they can store their soul in a bag of souls. They also typically have a heartstone, which is like a lustrous black gem that allows them to become ethereal. Well, it is in their possession. The touch of a heartstone is also said to cure any disease. But other than that, you know that they usually come in 3. Though there appears to be no sign of any other hags here.
There's no sign of the Hearthstone.
No. But if she disappeared...
If she made it out of here, she
Yeah.
had the Heartstone in her pocket.
Mm-hmm.
She'll be back. Hags don't like to suffer indignity.
Well, I mean, it is technically her place of residence, so... Well, we should probably return these items back to the people who lost them, and then we should return the body back to his parents.
We should make sure there's not something wrong with it first.
Yeah, maybe. Just like the stitches, and also, the red eyes on the statue seem pretty suspect. I don't know about you guys.
Feeling sus.
Clyde's going to go back to the body before too long to make sure it's still there.
I thought we agreed on a body, not a live body.
It is still there. But I mean, if you are spending some time to look over it, do our Arcana check on it or something like that, I mean, there is definitely something wrong with it. You would wager that it's probably not the best idea to see this body revived.
All right, let's do a couple. Can I do an Arcana check on the body?
Hmm?
Can I do an Arcana check to devise what's wrong with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
11.
I mean, so, you may not know exactly what's wrong with it, but there are stitches on the hands and neck, on the wrist and neck, and you also, you guys know about hags and their soul bags. So, some things were done to this body, but this body may not be Wilhelm's anymore.
So I vote we still take it back. That's their problem. We get paid and get out of town ASAP.
Sounds like a solid plan to me.
I mean, it looks like them. Don't you agree, buddy?
I mean, we did agree to bring back the body, but you saying something else occupies it?
I don't know. No. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they did some stuff to it. We found it. They were nice enough to give it back. She didn't want us to bother her, but we did anyway. So, now we have it. Let's go get paid, sell off this resurrection scroll, and get out of here a lot richer.
Considering I have a -1 to my insight, yeah, okay, sounds legit.
Okay. All right. You guys, I assume you gather up the body.
Yeah.
And walk back out of this place.
I was gonna say, because I feel that Asmodeus is a little clumsy sometimes in the kitchen. When he was walking out, he probably accidentally hip checked that cauldron with the blue liquid.
And just spilling it out.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops! So accidentally.
Oops.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, but then he'll pick up the body and then.
It will kind of sizzle, and there will be little black puffs of smoke that kind of erupt from bubbles as it seeps out onto the floor.
Sorry.
No, that there looks like a most potent brew.
Heck, how could you? And thus beginning the circle of So, you guys carry this body up the stairs, and as you exit this building out into the courtyard, there is a small encampment that has been set up in the courtyard. The snow has begun to pile up and is still falling. There's rabbits roasting over a blazing campfire near the old well, and armored Von Croft guards are spread throughout the courtyard, some bearing torches, one stomping the ground to warm his feet. Valentine and Helena Von Croft, both wrapped in heavy fur cloaks, turn and face you as you appear.
As we approach, I shout to him, "If you were going to come this close to camp, why didn't you go in yourself?"
Valentine will glance at his guards. My guards are well suited to guarding noble estates, not to adventuring through haunted mansions.
I look over at the party and whisper, "That means they're lazy."
If you present Wilhelm's dead body and just kind of lay it down for them, Helena Von Croft will actually just kind of look at it and then just turn and walk away, just kind of walking towards the fallen gates and out of the courtyard into the snow.
I follow her.
Valentine, ashen-faced, will give you your reward. And thank you for your assistance.
I'll take the bag, check it. Sorry for your loss, sir. And
he will motion to what appears to be like the house cleric to come over, who is going to begin readying himself for some sort of ceremony in which they will be raising Wilhelm.
Does anybody else want to stand back and watch?
I'm still there.
Is
Yeah.
this? Are they doing like a
Kinda
ritual
curious
of
now.
the spell?
Yeah, it would seem that they are prepared to do a ritual for his dead.
So we've got 10 minutes, right?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah, so you're following Helena.
You don't want to see your only son come back from the dead whole. What's wrong, dear?
I saw the state of him. That was no longer my son. There was nothing left of him. He is not coming back.
You should tell your husband that.
My husband will not give up in the quest to regain his heir.
And she licks her lips like that. I can help you. But you'll have to promise me that no harm will come to me in the doing. I can convince your husband long enough to not go through with a ritual. And you make sure that me and my comrades are free to go once the body is burned.
You won't harm Valentine, will you?
No, but he'll be very upset with me when we're done.
Chicka wow wow.
All right.
And
I agree.
she'll kiss her hand again, and head back towards everyone else.
Yeah, she'll follow you back. Just kind of watching cautiously. What are you doing? Tell me what this looks like.
I'm going to charm him.
Okay. I'm not even going to contest it because I want to see what happens. What do you do to charm him?
I do my succubus ability. I charm person. I'm magicking.
Do you just shimmy up there and you're like, hey.
Getting the girls ready.
There's definitely like the cleavage squeeze, yes. But I think specifically it's like walking her fingers up his shoulder and looking at him. And then we get that there's like a cross shot for just a second of those like scary eyes. And then like blink and they're back to normal, of her not dominating him, but like charming him.
Okay. He is charmed by you, and I assume you tell him to...
Yeah, I say, this body has been tampered with. Your son's soul is not going to come back to it, whole or in part. You need to burn it. You should have your preachers burn it.
He will look like almost as if part of him is struggling against this for a minute, and then just kind of nod. You're so right. I should see that he is laid to rest. Yeah. And then he's just gonna kind of smile and look at you, just kind of zoning out for a second, and then, yeah. What she said. Let's prepare the body for the funeral pyre instead. And the priests are just gonna look at you, and then look at him, and Helena will actually come up and say, "Do what my husband says, please." And they will do so. They will prepare a funeral pyre, and you guys can all watch as the body of Wilhelm von Croft is burned, as everyone stands around in silence, watching the flames catch the pyre and then his body.
I'm going to attempt to do a perform check to sing a Viking-esque funeral pyre song that I probably learned from my dad, but I got a 10 on the performance check.
I'll back him up on violin.
Yeah, the violin is beautiful. However, Asmodeus' voice is very off-key. And just...
Amazing grace, how sweet it is.
Ah, yes, the classic Viking song, Amazing Grace.
And just like everyone, like, it's very much like with every off-pitch note that it's like Helena's like crying silently, and just like it's kind of like a just as every time it just pierces into her ears. And thus passes Wilhelm, son of Valentine. You guys have successfully completed this one shot. Is there
Yay.
anything else you would like to do before I send you off into the great unknown?
See what spells I got left.
Like, for Asmodeus, he's just going to be like, well, my friends, it was well fought adventure. Now, what do you say to this house of waffles?
Yeah, I could go for it.
I did promise you a meal, after all.
You know, we might see combat, so sure, why not?
Random encounter to the Waffle House.
Right.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Well, Asmodeus did offer me a meal. All she's gonna say is, I don't think you could satisfy my appetites without compromising yourself.
You know, you can't talk about your appetite after you kiss the hag, so.
I'm just saying, I do make a mean sausage.
Oh.
What?
What?
Nothing.
Okay, you guys can depart from here, crunching your boots over the fallen snow, back to the city. However, over the next few days, weeks, and months, all of you will be visited by nightmares. And that is where we are going to end this session.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun! This was Secrets of the Blind Palace, written by Aviezer. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. I am Luke Locke, and I was the Dungeon Master this evening. Heck, do you want to start as we kind of go around in counterclockwise? Seeing you guys
let's go
yourselves
with
out?
it. Yeah, let's go with it. Hey guys, it's me, Sir Heckalot. You know, I played Valencia, our tiefling blood hunter tonight. It was great. I kind of want to know like what would have happened if he got revived now, just for the chaos. But oops. That's fine. You can find me on all the social medias at Sir Heckalot, including Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and our lovely Discord that you should definitely join. We have a lot of fun there. Yeah, where you're gonna see me next. What's today? Today's the 10th. Jesus. Time is an illusion. This week on the 14th, I'm gonna be a part of the Call of Cthulhu one-shot that Turk is running. It's gonna be so exciting. We're gonna look at all the elder deities as normal people and not get horrified, hopefully, but probably will. And this Friday, the 15th, I am hosting a pangolin prom with the TPK Coven. It's going to be super duper fun. I actually just before this one shot rolled what we're gonna be facing, and there's gonna be some interesting vampire werewolves terrorizing the prom. So we'll see how that goes. And then on the 16th, I am over at Neon Lights Roleplay doing our typical Seven Sons campaign, D&D, we play a bard like usual. And then on the 20th, I'm going to be GMing for As Autumn Colors Fall, which is our Over the Garden Wall themed one shot, and I'm super excited for that. It's coming up very soon, so be ready for it. And that is all I got going on. Let's keep on moving to Copper.
Hi everyone, Copper Leo. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at CopperLeo21. I was playing the half-orc paladin Asmodeus Skull Splitter tonight. It was a pleasure playing with everyone again. I'll be coming up actually with Heck on the Over the Garden Wall one-shot. I will be playing a peacock. I'm just going to leave it at that. So please come check it out. It should be fun. And we'll move on next to Vermin.
Hey y'all, I'm Legendary Vermin. You can find me as Legendary Vermin on all the places on the internet that matter. That's Itch, Twitch, and Twitter. Coming up later this month on the 18th, you'll find me in Madness Calls It Forth, our super fun fantasy noir fairy tale game. And then, sorry, my cat is all over my lap right now. You'll also find me on the 27th for Hubris of Man. That is an alien ongoing campaign, Colonial Marines. And then next month, I'm going to be back on November 23rd for another D&D one-shot. So yeah. Don't forget to check out my itch, where I make a bunch of cool RPG content. And that's all I got. Let's head over to Robotic Gentleman.
Thank you. I'm Robotic Gentleman. You can follow me at Robotic Gentleman. I do have two games I would like to talk about. One is I will also be at that Cthulhu one shot on the 14th. So please come see us for that. And as well, I will be starting a Stargate miniseries on the 22nd. And we'll be playing the bad guy. So yay. I look forward to that.
Basilisk.
Yes, I am Basilisk. So I'm looking forward to that. Aside from that, you'll probably see me on hopefully at least one or two one-shots coming November, because I try to keep it, gotta still have time for the kids. So.
All right. Well, again, I am Luke Locke. You can catch me all over TPK. And also tomorrow on the good guy team of Stargate Phoenix, I will be there. And then on the 12th, Tuesday, I'm running Harper Investigations, just a spooky one-shot since Season 2 is now wrapped. And then I'm back on the 18th for City of Mist, and then the 23rd for Dark Echoes, and the return of Murder and Coffee. And then on the 24th, we're back with more Blood and Grit. And also that night, part 2 of Murder on the Eberron Express, which will be Murder on the Prime Water Pleasure. And then it just starts all over again. So just throw a dart at the schedule. You'll hit me. Come check it out. Join the Discord. Check out the website. Find me on Twitter. I'm Lukalok everywhere. And with that, we will bid you all good night. See you tomorrow, everyone.
Y'all come back now.